The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. I'm Nikki Glaser in St. Louis with Andrew Collin. Noah is in Arizona. And we are headed to Texas this weekend.
You know how I do down there.
There. And then we are in Florida and... all right. We know how he does down there, too.
All there.
What about New Orleans? No, what? Do some Nolans.
Oh, Nolans. You go down
give it a
there.
sound effect to Nolans.
You go down now, you get your good crawfish down there off Bourbon Street. Everyone want to go down to French Quarter. You want to go down 13.
I want you to do your whole set in that accent. Just do that the whole time.
Oh, down there in New Orleans?
Yeah, that almost sounds... It's the same voice you use when there's a foul ball that goes flying.
Oh, yeah, that there goes up there.
Oh, no, come down.
One day it will come. One time I saw a foul ball go so high, it actually came. And it was coming at me, and everybody, it was such a high, like, certain foul balls you don't try to catch.
Sounds like the beginning of, like, the movie Big Fish. One time, I saw a foul ball go so high. I've never even seen Big Fish, but I think it's like a tall tale movie.
I love that you haven't seen it.
I have not seen. I remember seeing ads for Big Fish and being like, "That looks magical." And people always on Reddit talk
your boy's
about
in it.
Big Fish.
Crudup.
Who's my boy?
Crudup.
Oh, Crudup.
I love that last name. Crudup.
Crudup.
Cricket.
Cricket. Crudup is so hot. Oh my god.
I told you I saw him in the Hamptons in real life.
Yeah,
he walked past my car.
He looked like an old
He looked like a ghost kind of
like
Crudup.
Yeah, like the woman that the guy in Thinner.
He looked more like crud.
Crud.
Just crud. So anyways, this fly ball went so high in the air that everyone like scattered because it was that high. Except for one person went like this. Like, you know when you like something's coming at you, so you just duck, you know? So you think you'll be fine, but you don't.
I know. Yeah, you just don't know where it's going to... That's me catching any ball that comes at me. I just go into a fetal
Top
position.
of the head.
Top of the head.
The one person that didn't move, dead.
Nuh-uh.
He got credit.
Did he die?
Nah, the boy didn't get
You
credit.
can die from that.
But right away, I don't know if you've ever seen it was like a cartoon.
Oh, like the big bump.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like it was
poor
literally
man.
I think
concuss.
Yeah, he got concuss. Yeah.
He definitely got concuss.
Yeah, good down there. But yeah, I'm excited for Texas.
I'm excited for Nashville as well.
Yes, Ryman Theater.
Ryman Theater.
They
April
got the
24th.
original seats in there. Actually, I don't know if we should tell people that.
What do you mean?
They're like made out of the old wood that they did when the church.
Oh, you think people
there.
like some germ freaks might be like, no, I'm not going there if they got the original seats.
Uncomfortable splinters.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I usually do a little talk before live shows.
Yeah.
About social anxiety and like if you have to pee, just go pee and all that stuff. And I usually do it before I bring you up. No. After, yeah, before
Yes.
you come out. Yes, before I bring you up. It's kind of like a little thing I come out before I go out. But you weren't there this past weekend, so I wasn't able to like do my little speech. So I just did it at the top of the show. And God, does that set the stage for everyone just chills out. There's so much anxiety about going to show. Like that's not something I struggle with, but people have a big struggle with.
And it's one thing hearing it from the horses, not calling you a horse, but
wow. That sounded like a horse cat.
Hearing it from the horse's mouth. No, the horse's mouth.
Did you say horse or whore?
He said horse.
Let the listener decide.
Yeah. I'd rather be called a whore than a horse. I think I used that joke at one of the roasts. I was like, oh, you know what they do for girls? Like, I know what I'm going to get tonight. You're going to call me a horse face, but can you switch it to a horse face or something like that? Yeah, okay.
But so Gerard Carmichael, where I think we talked a little, we haven't talked about his special yet on here, but
no,
fantastic.
and I'm not going to. I'm just
you
kidding.
shouldn't.
I haven't seen it yet. I know he comes out.
He does come out of the closet as a white man.
Oh,
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Well, he should be canceled because that is an impressive.
Yeah,
makeup.
blackface. Yeah, it's pretty good. He has some of the funniest 10 minutes on coming, like, about being, like, from a place that isn't cool with people coming out, like his family, and how it's so ingrained in him to not be accepted towards gay people, where he was like roasting himself for being gay. Like even when he's with his partner, he's like making out with the dude and he's like pause. Like he's blowing the guy, he's like no homo. Like his
Yes.
whole like everything in his DNA, whatever. So but at the beginning of his thing, he comes out and his whole first 3 minutes is how like, look, we're just friends. For this to be great, let's just act as family. Like he gave a disclaimer, kind of like what you did, and it really does. You feel it. You feel a difference in the room. It doesn't feel as much of like I'm talking at you as like we're like all together in the room.
Yeah, and it's just like you just want people to be the only way a show is good is if people are comfortable, like that you know what you're doing, that they're not going to be called out or embarrassed. That because you were the one that kind of gave me.
That's what it is.
Was like what? No, that.
I think okay. So like as a patron of comedy shows and not a comedian, I think it lets the audience relax in a way because for the people who are there who are your comedy fans, not necessarily the podcast listeners, you're known and loved for your roast jokes. So they think that if they get up to the bathroom or if they have to walk out or something, it kind of puts a target on them and they might end up being roasted. I guess like in their mind, that's the story that they tell themselves. So I think it does kind of put them at ease because it's like, no, you can go to the bathroom. I'm cool with it.
That's my.
Okay, she's not going to roast me.
Like it would just happen. You're exactly right. It would happen at meet and greets when people would be like, I had to go to the bathroom so bad. And I'm like, why didn't you go? And they're like, I just didn't want to interrupt the show. And I'm like, no. I need to let people know I will not say a damn thing if you go to the bathroom. You could literally yell fire and run out. And I'd be like, everyone stay calm. Ignore that woman. Like, I just don't, I do not go into the audience unless it's absolutely necessary and someone's like really causing a disturbance. I just would never do that to someone.
It sets me up to crush so hard.
Oh yeah, because then the second someone gets up to the bathroom, Andrew goes, "Where are you going to take a shit?" You know, because I say if you go to the bathroom as a woman, I'm not going to be like, "Look at this lady going to take a shit." Like that's what a lot of comics do. It's so annoying. And so people like truly have bladder disorders because of comedy shows where they're just so scared of being called out. I mean, I used to have that kind of anxiety too of just like, I just don't want to be seen. I don't want to be picked on. And you're watching someone do something, if you have a little bit of stage fright, that seems so, it almost is like watching, when I watch a circus act, or like I won't go see Cirque du Soleil. Like I was just in Vegas and I had a night off and I was looking up tickets to Love, the Beatles show, and I won't go see it because I don't like seeing people do things that if I did it, I would die.
Oh, so like people on stage.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm a professional, so maybe you could watch me and be like, oh my God, I could never do that. That makes me so scared. It doesn't change the fact that they know I'm a professional unless I'm just like make them so sure that nothing's going to happen. Like that. But Cirque du Soleil cannot do that for me. There's no way, because I'm like, but you could slip. Like there's something that could happen. So I can take that in because I always consider my act like they're watching like Cirque du Soleil in terms of like, I can't even enjoy this because that is such my nightmare if I'm scared of heights, because so many people's nightmare is doing exactly what we do and talking into a microphone with nothing else to help you.
Yeah, but isn't that
except the words that are coming out of your mouth?
But the thrill of circus, what did I call
Cirque
it?
du Soleil. Circus Olay.
Circus Olay. Circus Molay.
It's a chocolate sauce.
Is that you don't know if they're going to fall and die, right? So the idea of you going
Why
up
does
there.
anyone like that?
I'm just saying that's what people like stand up for, especially with people that they don't know is good or not. They want to see maybe they will fail. Like people like a fail.
I'm offended by everything you just said, mostly because you said they don't know if they is good or not.
Yeah, I failed that sentence. But how fun was that? What if I told you? What if I told you that sentence? What if I told you that sentence was going to be bad?
You know what I would say to people who enjoy watching stand up because they like watching people bomb?
Yeah.
Or they want to see someone like uncomfortable? You are a sick person. You have a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, even people who like to go to I hate air shows. I hate diving board things. I hate things that are like you're risking your life so much, like drag racing or any kind of
UFC.
I have a story in the news about this.
Formula
by the way.
One. My boyfriend's so into Formula One, and I just got kind of an offer to do a shoot adjacent to a Formula One thing, and he's like, maybe we could go to the like see if maybe we could, because it's like shooting around like with the theme of it is Formula One and it's happening like a race weekend, and I haven't said yes to it yet, but I sent it to him being like, would you want to come to this with me, because he's huge into Formula One. And I'm terrified to go to a Formula One thing. I don't like fast, loud things, and I don't like things that the margin of error is so small that they could careen into the crowd, and I probably will get really good seats.
Yeah.
And die.
Yeah, you're in the careen area for sure.
You know, I don't like that stuff, and it's just, I don't understand people who do. It makes me feel really not close to my fellow man, because I just don't get why anyone.
Are you gonna go?
Yeah, because I
Are you gonna
love
do it?
him, and it means
Okay, good.
if we get to, I'm still waiting to hear back, but if we do get tickets, I'll go, because I know it means so much to him, and it would be like me going, him
maybe
going to a
you
Taylor
need to
Swift concert.
experience- have
He's
you-
not going to potentially die at a Taylor Swift concert.
What is the last game that you experienced where someone could die? Like, have you actually been in the stands for something like that?
My parents used to bring me to air shows as a kid, or like circuses where the motorcycles are in that cage.
Oh yeah.
And I would have a panic. I'm not kidding you. I can't even think about it. Like, I hate it so much. I hate things that are very fast in tandem next to each other, where if you literally go like this with the steering wheel, it's a humongous, even horse races where like a horse just kind of trips, boom. Bike races, Tour de France, when they're all so close. That's my phobia, is things going fast close to each other.
yeah.
One thing going fast on its own in a desert somewhere, fine. I don't give a fuck. But together, fast, speed skating, anything like that, no. I don't like it.
Just trying to think how you could conquer this fear, or if
No,
you even
I'm not.
want
I don't
to.
want to. I have no interest in these things.
She's gonna face it with her boyfriend, and that's how you're gonna.
I really have to get into
like,
this
desensitize
because
yourself
we're
to
gonna
it.
be a Formula One family. Like, he wants to like get into Formula. Like, I'm trying to get into it. I'm gonna try to
Get
have
a
a
car?
love for it.
You could buy a car. You could
Yeah, I'm
do
gonna get my own car.
You should. And you should have a baby Formula One.
It's gonna be the Starbucks car.
It should be Formula.
For
I'm for. Dude, it's just so funny, like a little baby car. No, dude, it's no, but you could get into. I'm sure in St. Louis, if you just Google, where do rednecks hang out? There's like,
Formula One's not rednecks.
no, but the pre
Yeah,
that
PRIX.
stuff,
Yeah.
that kind of shit, where you
Yeah.
can get like
Grand Prix.
Yeah, you get like trucks that fucking
No,
I don't know.
monster truck. Like, my boyfriend brought his nephews to this, like, that like, this Sunday, everyone's gonna be like, those
Yeah.
weird ads where the guy talks like this and then it goes like this. I hated those ads as a kid. I would even, during like, when I was watching Saved by the Bell and they would like advertise those trucks just going like boom and like falling in an arena and all this dirt coming up, and
grave digger.
Yeah.
hate those
Bigfoot.
things. Is
What if it's
anything
something
with
that you
me?
like? What if it's something you like?
What's wrong with people that they like to see people almost die?
What if you
But
did it
what's
for
wrong with me that I love molestation documentaries and sex crime documentaries?
because they're slow?
But you know what the thing is? They're slow. They groom slowly.
Yeah.
There's no jump scares in a pedophile doc.
Oh my god.
There aren't.
You never see a molester in a Formula One. Only one person can sit in it.
It's kind of
Two,
true though. I'm not kidding you. I like.
You don't like an old white. You don't mind a white van that's real slow down the road.
Because I really have to think about why I like pedophile documentaries. I really have to. I'm fascinated by pedophiles. I'm fascinated by people. Like, I want to hear all about the stories. I'm never like listening to the stories being like, I know that this doesn't itch or scratch some itch for me. That is like a it's not a pleasurable thing. It's definitely that same thing of like disgust, like that morbid curiosity. But the thing is, I put a thing out on my Instagram story the other night about like, if you have a sex crime documentary, please send it to me. Like, I can't get enough of this stuff. And I had a bunch of people write to me being like, I like this stuff too, and I'm ashamed that I like it. Because I like this over murder docs. And listen, a lot of murder docs have sex crimes associated with them too. But I like docs about pedophiles and how they work. I like learning how these fucking sickos.
Have you found a link?
You know what I think it is?
A link?
What do you mean?
Between all of them?
I'm sure there's a top
I could
20
do-
pedophile movie.
I think in
What I'm
common?
gonna do is I'm too passionate about this. I need my knowledge. I have so much more knowledge than most people have about pedophiles. Because parents that have kids are like, no, I don't want to hear about it. Oh, that's so gross. And it's like, Why do I don't even have, you should want to hear about this. Like, why are
I think
people
I know
so
what it is.
scared?
I think I know.
get it because you think of your kids and you go, it's not going to happen to my kids. I protect them.
No, I think it's
You don't know.
I think it's the opposite. I think it's like the other day when you sent me that joke and it had rapist in it, and changing it to murderer actually makes it more palatable.
Yeah.
Even though murder is, some would argue, worse than rape. Some would argue murder, which is a fine documentary to talk about that you see.
Yeah, women can go, I love murder docs, and no one goes, you're a murderer. But when I
This
say
is
like
why.
pedophile docs, they're like, you're creepy.
Because more people get molested than murdered. Like, or like it happens. Like I
Way
think,
more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's
Way
why
more.
I think it feels more awkward to be like, I'm really into this thing that actually happens a lot.
No, the problem is, the thing is, people don't know it happens a lot. Everyone's in denial of it.
Yeah.
If you knew the stats, which I'm not gonna, go into, but if you knew the stats, it is so alarming how much more it happens. And the problem is, people don't talk about it because it involves sex, and it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
It's children and sex, and you don't combine those things, and we don't talk about it. And the thing is, parents need to know, because parents think that they don't.
Should we start a morbid documentary podcast
About-
but it's just pedophile stuff?
Honestly, I need to educate the public about this.
And you tell me the
because
story, and I
it's
go,
the
whoa,
only way to
whoa.
It's the only way to defeat
Yeah.
these guys. Because Chris and I, my boyfriend and I, were just talking last night. We go, because I was telling him all the stuff I learned from the Jimmy Savile documentary that I watched on Netflix about the Mr. Rogers of Great Britain, who ended up being like a prolific pedophile, like the Bill Cosby
Who
of
would have
Great Britain.
saw it coming?
This guy, you would have.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
He is
Like,
so. I don't understand
It goes
the
back to your-
UK's taste in entertainers at all. After watching this guy, there's nothing charming about this guy. Nothing funny. He was not even good. I don't get it. Someone tried to explain to me. I wrote to Robin, my hair
Yeah.
and makeup friend, and I go, what was it about this? He's not charming. He's just a creep. And yet they when he died, it was like a member of the royal family died. In fact, he was knighted,
Here's
which
the
is a
thing.
big fucking deal.
The royal families are creeps.
Yes,
They don't do anything.
are.
I hate
God
them.
forbid you say that.
I just said it.
Brits don't
Shots
like
fired.
it. All right, let's take a break and come back with more show.
Yeah, we'll talk about freaking Harry.
Harry.
I don't know.
Oh.
You got?
And we're back. So what about Harry?
I don't want to get into it. I just
Yeah.
got a phone call in between the break that said, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Or else.
Or else. And then a little laser dot was on your forehead.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But I'm cool now. I love the royal family. Good people.
Yeah.
Real good people. Strong character.
No, but Chris and I were on the phone last night talking at length about what do we do? What do we do to stop these people? Because what do you do? And I said, it's about education. It's about making kids okay with saying, I don't like being around my uncle. He gives me a weird vibe, because the thing is, it starts with just a touch that just feels a little too long. It starts with a creepiness that you feel long before the molester even does anything. Kids can feel it right away,
Yeah.
and don't make your kids hug people they don't want to hug, no matter what you think. Don't ever force your kids to do anything or be alone with someone if they don't want to. And also, it's about educating kids about, like, if you ever feel weird around an adult, let me know. It's literally a vibe. Kids get a vibe right away. And if there is a person, and 91% of child molestations happen, the perpetrator is someone that the family knows and trusts. 91%.
Better
So
than
you always
Michael
think it's going to be a
Jordan's free
stranger.
throws. Yeah.
The word there is trust. The family already trusts this person. So whoever you think in your life you trust, the person that would molest your kids, you would not expect it. So
Yeah.
that needs to be sunken in, is that that goes back to the book we were reading that we got besties to read, Talking to Strangers. We don't know people like we think we do.
Yes.
And the people we do know, we think we know so well, but really people are strangers to us. And these people always start with, they never just go right to molesting. It starts with they are so slow. Like you said, maybe that's why I like it.
Yeah. You like a turtle.
There's a beginning, and because Chris was like, so do we just like have to let them molest and then the kids tell us? And then I go, no. It doesn't need to get to that. It needs to get to, Mom, I don't like that guy. Mom, I feel that guy's a weirdo. Just
Yeah.
being able to say that about an adult. Arlo doesn't like to hug me. Sometimes he's just not in the mood. And my sister will go, you hug your aunt. And I go, no. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do ever physically with an adult, even though I know I'm not a
Oh, I
creep.
thought you were saying Arlo's molesting you.
Yeah, I go, no, I don't want it. I'm creeped out by that kid.
Yeah, you don't know what he's up to.
I'm into this reverse pedophilia. Like, no one's talking about that.
No one is.
That the kids are coming after me.
84% of uncles that are molested by their nephews, they're good friends before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Well, it's just, if I were an adult, I would never make my child, even if it was their grandmother, hug their grandmother, because it sets a precedent that you do things you don't want to do physically, human touch-wise with another adult. And it sets a precedent that when something inappropriate happens with someone that isn't grandma, who we know and trust, maybe I should stay quiet about it and just do it and suck it up. And no, you got to have...
It just sucks because, like, one of my best childhood memories, and it sounds...
is being forced to go down on your uncle.
It's my second favorite thing.
That would be so funny if you were like, seriously though, one of my favorite memories was being groomed by my aunt.
This is gonna sound like that.
Yeah.
I'm coming out again. My grandpa would give me back rubs when I was a kid.
Did it make you uncomfortable?
Not at all. No,
then
I'm
that's
saying
fine.
no. I know that, but I'm saying that's what's so sad about this is that
There's nothing weird about that. If you felt uncomfortable, it would be weird.
it was my favorite thing.
Well, that's not that was my favorite thing too.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's. I'm just saying that like, people could through this what we're trying to do.
Mine is about listening to the children. It's not about looking with your own eyes. It's about knowing when your kid is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And letting them say something. If I saw my little boy getting back rubs from his grandpa, let's say it's the dad of my husband, so it's not a dad that I've been around as a little kid, so I know he's safe. My dad, he could rub kids back, and I would be like, "Oh, that's fine." But
That's what you think.
Well, I know he's into little girls, not little boys. So, you read the kid. It's not about you being an adult reading adults, because adults will trick you. Do not rely on that spidey sense about adults. Look at your kid, because kids know.
And kids tell the truth.
And they always know. I've heard so many stories about molestations, and the kids know what's happening is not good.
Yeah.
And they just feel so scared to tell an adult. And you need to let your kids know these people are going to say that they're going to murder mommy and daddy if you tell. They're going to say, and they're all lies. So if someone says this stuff, you need to tell them what they're going to hear so they get ahead of it. Let's get to the news. That's my little this helps.
I'm not arguing it.
This helps.
I hope Grandpa was cool.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Oh man, it's Wednesday, folks. You know what that means? It is Wednesday. Hope you're having all the swells out there. We're coming to Texas, Austin, Dallas, Houston, all the places.
I mean, that's not all the places.
San Antonio. We're not
No,
going
we're
to.
not going there.
We're not going there. Plano.
We went there, though.
Not going to Plano.
Yeah.
Can you name another Texas town?
Abilene.
What are your thoughts on Austin?
Texas?
Yes. Is it disgusting? Okay.
Sorry, ham drip. Private ham drip.
Private.
It's Austin, the city. My thoughts are it's kind of like a Bourbon Street type thing. I don't drink, but I also I think it's just I always described, you know how they always say there's a garbage patch in the ocean that's the size of Texas. I always say that Austin is like that garbage patch is like reusable tote bags of the garbage patch. It's like, it's like this part of the garbage patch that's like liberal, they're like they're a little, it's like St. Louis in Missouri. You know what I mean? Like it's different than what you think of the rest of the state as.
Is it too hyped up though? I always feel like people hype up Austin. Like once I get to Austin, my life will be good. Like it's like one of those kind of places. I feel like it's top 5 wherever you go.
I think
hey, where would you imagine living?
Food trucks. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Food trucks, music, honky tonks. Wait, that's Nashville. Shit.
It's the same shit, I guess.
No, I've always had good shit. I think of Topo Chico. That's the first place I had Topo Chico.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll have a bucket of those backstage. I'm excited. 2 shows.
Yeah, so we're going to be there. Paramount Theater.
All right, news story. Noah.
If you feel alone and afraid, warm
Yes.
up your hands, because a study suggests that physical warmth has the same lasting effect as the presence of a social support provider, and physical warmth inhibits fear, learning, and response.
My grandpa's hands.
Wait, so
Marvin.
warm up your
Marvin.
hands and then touch yourself, or just like warm yourself
Mr.
up?
Miyagi style. Remember he did
Well,
that. You remember?
I never saw it.
they say that warmth has the same effect as like a social support. So that's why like we always gravitate to like something warm if we're sick or if we're afraid of something. It's like a comforting thing.
And it's like almost like, it's the way we describe people who we want to be around. They're warm.
Yes.
She's cold.
Oh, yeah, that's a
It's
good
not even
point.
a temperature thing. That makes sense.
It girls often ask, like, a lot of guys put their hands in their own pants because our balls are so warm, and it warms up our hands.
Oh, yeah, I always put my hands in mine.
It's calming to get inside your own flames.
Well, I just do it between my legs. Do you ever just go like this?
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to do your balls. You can just do it between your thighs.
That's where our balls are.
That's a good point. I forgot that those dangle down.
But this all makes sense. So many guys will watch, even when you're with your brother, with your bros, we'll all just look over and there'll be 6 guys on a couch with their hands on their own dick. It's weird.
There's something comforting about. I mean, I like holding dicks, like when I'm falling asleep.
Like a soft dick, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like one of those Slurpee
Slurpee.
slimy.
Yeah, those little.
Slinky.
I don't know. It just feels
Yeah.
like it almost feels like I'm holding their hand, but it's not as like. Sometimes when I'm
Intimate.
holding like my boyfriend's hand in bed, like I feel like he's probably just waiting until he can like let go of it. But his penis, like I feel like I can just hold that for forever. It's not gonna. It just doesn't. It feels so. It just feels like a like just I'm holding onto something. I don't do it all the time, but
Yeah.
I like the feeling of it.
You got him by the balls.
Get it by the balls.
Fucking balls. No, I like that, but as a guy, I just think like, there's...
When you're flaccid, you don't want people down there.
It's not, yeah, but there's different kind of flaccid. We've talked about this before, but like a true flaccid, almost in your body penis, you don't want your girlfriend using as a support fucking handy. Like
That's a good point.
You just don't. It's just not comfortable as a guy. You still want it to be presentable.
Man, I love the AC in my room so much. I sleep so cold.
What are you sleeping on? 40?
60 degrees.
That's cold.
60. I wake up in the morning and it is so fucking cold. I love it so much. I'm just like, if I would have taken your room, I would be in hell.
Oh, because you don't have...
It's just you cannot keep it as cold as I would want it to be. It's just so awesome. I never want to move from this apartment. It's the coldest room I've ever been able to get anywhere.
It's actually annoying because I live in the
cannot
one
sleep.
bedroom and whatever, no one cares about this, but the living room, for some reason, how it's set up, and same here too, it just feels more open and the air feels colder outside the bed, maybe because...
But you like a warm bedroom.
I like a 69 now.
That is so hot.
Yeah.
Oh. And then are you wearing like long pants and like bundled up?
You know me, I freaking...
Oh yeah, you're Winnie the Poohing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next story.
All right, next story. I have to show you something.
Let's
Oh no, air show.
Okay, no. Sebastian Studenter. Now, I don't think this happened recently, but I just saw this in my feed recently. A German pro surfer rode a wave said to be over 100 feet tall at Nazaré, Portugal, which is the world's biggest wave of the season. And I wanted to show this to you.
I know this
I
area
think I saw
well.
this. You do?
Well, I know, I've seen documentaries on it. You know I'm a surfer.
Oh my god! I mean, it looks insane. It looks like you're looking at. You can't even tell the wave. The wave takes up the whole screen, so you don't even see the top of the wave. It looks like the sky, and from where I'm seeing, it just looks like a jet flying across the sky, leaving chemtrails.
I
That's
mean,
it. This wave is so huge. Did he die?
No, he made it.
No, he survived and he set a world record.
Dude, my dad's cousin is one of the first people to ever do surfing
Mavericks.
giants. Yeah, he
That's
started
a whole
at
nother
Mavericks.
thing too, because
Yeah.
he did it. First of all, there's great white sharks out there. It's a fucking like mile paddle, and
It's
he went out there with no leash.
over 100-foot wave.
No, I
Yeah.
understand that,
If
but
he
there's
falls off his board or something.
They're dead. They're dead if they fall.
but there's jet skis there. There's like I'm saying that your uncle's
My uncle
is
was
a badass.
my
dude.
dad's cousin,
Yeah.
Mark Reneker. If you look him up, Mark Reneker, he is one of the first big wave surfers ever. Mark Fu, who's a famous guy that died.
Yeah.
He was really good friends with Mark. But yeah, my dad's cousin is in like all these books. He was interviewed on 60 Minutes by Ed Bradley about surfing giants. Like he's in documentaries and stuff like that. But it's It's a wild.
The reason why this is crazy.
I just don't get why you would do that.
The reason why this area is crazy
Yeah.
is it's so close to shore that you can see how big these fucking waves are. Mavericks is like a mile off. Like you can't, you don't understand.
I didn't know that. Mavericks is like out.
So that's why your uncle's such a badass, because he had to paddle out.
Yeah.
He might have had a leash. He might have started. Yeah.
He was really against. I remember when they started using jet skis to pull them out. He was like, "Fuck that shit. That's pussy shit." Yeah. He used to paddle out. Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
I thought this was interesting though, because in an interview they asked him, "How do you prepare mentally to take on some of the biggest and most dangerous waves in the world?" And he said, "For me, the mental preparation and readiness comes through physical preparation. The team has to be the right team. People must be on the same page, and you have to be able to trust your jet ski drivers and safety team."
Mm-hmm.
Or you just put your hands on your own balls and warm them up.
That's something so solo could be a team effort. Is that what you're saying was interesting, Noah?
Well, yeah. So it's interesting that he has to have like the right team around him. And I was thinking of what you were saying when you're on tour and how important it is for you to have like your friends and setting up the right kind of team.
Yes,
too.
vibe, so that you go into these things feeling as good as possible. Well, my dad always quotes this Walenda guy. He used to be a tightrope walker back in the days, and he would do these. Oh,
Nick Walenda. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a Walenda family, and the father
Yeah.
died, plummeted to his death doing one of these tightrope walks. And his wife said that the only time she has ever heard him say, like, "I'm nervous about this one," was the one he died on. And she had never seen him have any kind of nerves or second guessing before that. Not to say that, like, that's what did it, or that maybe he knew, but, it's just a lesson about just believe in yourself kind of thing and have this, like, unshakable confidence. But I don't understand doing something that.
It goes back to, that's a very slow, death-defying thing. Well, you would think you'd like this one.
Well, Chris, no, it's not as fast.
That's what I'm saying.
You fall and then you're boom.
Oh, you fall fast.
Yeah, you fall very fast.
Yeah.
But, Chris, when we were watching that, have you guys seen 16 Peaks?
14.
Whatever. 16's the new one.
16 Candles.
It's by John Hughes.
Yeah.
It's about a mountaineering teenager in
Talk about
the 80s.
Really
going
on stereotypes with an Asian character.
What do you mean?
Have you ever seen that movie? 16 Candles?
14 Peaks? Oh, yeah. Well, 14 Peaks, did you see it?
Yes, the Nepalese guy. I saw some of it. I was in and out.
I was watching it with Chris, and there's a part that's like K2. People who attempt K2. 1 in 4 mountaineers who attempt it die. And Chris was going like, the whole movie is like, God, I would love to do this shit. And I'm just like kind of biting my tongue, being like, okay, please stop saying that because I love you and I don't want, but like there's, and then when they said that thing, I go, would you do that one? Would you do that one? And he's like, yeah. And I go, 1 in 4 die. You would do that one if 1 in 4, if those were the odds. And he was like, I was that mad. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why would you ever do something where 1 in 4 people die from doing it? That is just so stupid to me.
Does he even,
it makes me mad even now.
Has he ever even climbed the mountain? I'm just saying, like, to go from that to like.
Well, like he would work up to that. He's not like gonna go do that tomorrow after he hikes Castlewood. I mean, this is. He just says that it would be something he'd want to do in his lifetime. And
I get that.
It made me so mad.
He should do that other
You're
one.
not allowed to and he goes, but if I died doing it, like I would die doing what I love. And I go, but you care so much about being there for others in your life. Like he goes, I don't care if I die that way. That would be the greatest way to go out. And I'm like, but what about me? Like I care. Like, isn't there something to living for others?
And I would love to interview the guy that dies on K2, and it's like, pretty stoked about how you're dying right now, and he'll be like freezing to death. Like, it's not a cool way to die.
I think it's suicidal, to be honest with you. I think it's just people that like to do that stuff are suicidal.
Have you ever seen that Alex Holm?
In a different way than most people.
He climbs no leash, no fucking wire, nothing.
I don't get it. Why would
Free
you?
climb.
Can you try to help me understand, like really quick, like why someone would want to do something where guaranteed 1 in 4 die? Would you do that? I understand skydiving.
I think you're asking the wrong person. You should ask someone who would be inclined to do it.
Do you know what
I
mean?
Different.
You're kind of Avi does like kind of like ice climbing shit. Like, do you think Avi would probably? Yeah, but does that make you mad when you're like, I'm gonna marry you, motherfucker? You better not be climbing 14ers.
Next time you get in a fight, just send them a plane ticket to fucking Nepal.
No, I just get anxiety because I keep thinking like I have to be there and I have to do like also do it, and then he just reassures me like, no, this is something I'll do with my friends. That's the only
I don't
qualms I have.
I don't know why it bugs me.
I'm
you know
trying
why
to
it
think
bugs
the
me?
closest thing to
Because
it.
first of all, I want my boyfriend to be alive, and especially if I'm looking towards having a life with this person growing old. I mean, that's the goal. And you're jeopardizing that goal because you want to like take a picture on a fucking mountain and like sit on the mountain, breathe in the air. Like
I think his
fuck
argument.
that.
I think his argument would be, or these people's arguments. They go, well, if I can accomplish this, I'll feel so good about myself. I'll be a better husband to you. I know, but
Yeah,
I'm just
that's-
saying that's a thought
I don't want
process.
to be with honestly, if he wouldn't give up that that was his goal, I'd say then you need to be with someone else.
I just think you got to start at a smaller mountain. Start
Well,
at
yeah.
1 in 50 dying. Like,
just-
why are we going 1 out of 4?
But
It's-
I've been suicidal before, and people go, "How could you be suicidal?" And I'm like, because I'm depressed and I hate life. But if you're someone who likes life, why would you do something where there's a 25% chance you're going to die? Because on the other side of it is glory that you get to be like, I survived this thing. Why would you take that risk if you didn't enjoy life, really?
Because I don't think you can enjoy life without doing it.
I guess. I just don't. I wish.
I think
again,
that's-
it just makes
yeah.
me like, I don't like that I can't understand it. And I think I just need to. I need to understand it.
Yeah.
I can't relate it to anything in my life where I'm like, there's nothing
What's
I
the
do
scariest
that,
thing you've ever done?
dragon wings at Six Flags.
Okay. How many people have died doing
0. But it was so scary.
What about chicken wings at Hooters?
Okay, we got to take a break. Let's do Why Do I Care? Why do I care?
Okay. Kim Kardashian comments on Pete Davidson's BDE while talking about their first kiss.
Oh my God.
So she said it was a stage kiss, but it was still a little zing. It wasn't anything like super crazy. I was like, wow, I really haven't kissed anyone else in 10 years, so maybe I'm just being stupid and it's just nothing. And then a few days later, I was like, there is some BDE action. But the reason why I brought this story up is because I wanted to know if you guys remember your first kisses. And for Nikki, I guess this would be the 7th first kiss with Chris.
Oh, like the first kiss is with the person that you're with.
Not like
currently.
the first kiss.
Yeah. No, with your partners.
Real quick, I just want to say that I love their first kiss because it was when they were playing the Aladdin sketch. We've all seen like the still image of it. He, for like their anniversary, or her birthday or something, got her the rug and the genie lamp and the costumes from like their first kiss. And I thought that was like, I think that's just so sweet. Like someone remembering like that first kiss time.
You know what this tells me though?
What?
It tells me not many people have access to Kim Kardashian. You know what I mean? Like that's 90% of all this is access. Pete Davidson got
it's just
access to
luck.
kiss her.
Well, Brenna slid into your DMs and she wouldn't have known about it had she not listened to you on a podcast. Like
I get that.
Everything is chance.
I get all that, but I'm just saying that like, oh, you know, like I haven't kissed anyone in 10 years. How many guys are even in the circle that can kiss Kim Kardashian? That's
No,
what
you
I'm
have
saying.
to get it written into a sketch
Yeah.
where you kiss her. It's absolutely
So
that.
she left her husband for one.
For the first guy she
yeah,
kissed.
Yeah.
No, she didn't leave her husband.
I
for
know,
him.
but my point, I guess, is, and my
a good
first
point,
kiss
though.
with Brenna was actually fantastic.
Where were you?
First date, and
Where was it? Car?
it was her getting into her car. We might have kissed before we. I think we pecked before that, but then it was the kiss before the car, and or before
How do
getting
you
in the
peck
car.
before your first? Like, why would you peck? Because it always comes at the end of the date. You know what I'm saying?
I know it came in the middle of the date. I
pecked in the
think
middle of the date.
I'm almost positive, but yeah,
Inside
we
the
definitely
little-
grabbed each other's asses
First,
during the date, which was so hot to just get that out
were
of the
you
way.
just like doing it as a bit? It must have been a bit.
It was bit-ish. It wasn't like fucking. We can't even stop ourselves from our romance. But I don't know. She was wearing a little dress, and her ass was fucking looking great. And
But she must have done something that led you to go, okay, I can touch this person's ass. You don't just do that.
yeah, that's true. I can't remember.
I
Exactly.
guarantee you I know what it was. It was probably like you said something about like butts, and then you were like, I got a pretty good one. She goes, oh, really? And then you were like, yeah, you can feel it if you want. And then she probably didn't. You go, I want to feel yours. And then she probably was like, go for it. And then stuck out her butt, and then you felt it.
I think that's exactly what happened.
I mean, I'm not joking you. I know that's what happened. I know how you work. I know how and I know how flirtiness works
Yeah,
too. Like
yeah.
that's the only way that could happen before a kiss.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Is you going, You want to touch? You can touch it if you want.
Yeah,
Feel
yeah,
it. And then
yeah.
you flexed, and she was like, okay.
Now I get to grab your ass.
And then, and then you made that, and she goes, you can if you want. And you go, oh my God. And she bent over, and you're like, this girl's cool. And then you did it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
What do you remember the
What
first
about you,
ass
Nikki?
Yeah, what about you?
My first, our first.
What was the first Chris kiss?
Oh, it was the best kiss of my life. Well, the first one was, it was the first time that I said, I'm not going to be the first one to do it. I'm gonna wait. I would have kissed. If I was.
But where was it? Like, set the scene.
6th Avenue. It was the comedy. We had hung out a little bit, but one day before then, and I would have probably, my old ways would have been like, hey, can we just make out? Like I always did that bit, and then it would break the tension. We would kiss, and then the guy would eventually not like me because I took control of the situation, even though he was like, that's awesome that you said that. It would never work out in the end. So this time I was like, I'm not going to make the first move. I'm changing my ways. And we hung out, and he did make a move, and I was just like so sad. And then I'd given up on him. And then I was doing a set one night, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to throw out one more chance. And I was like going to the Comedy Cellar at 11 o'clock on a school night. We both worked on Nikki and Sarah Live. And it was the next day, and he lived in Queens, in Greenpoint, or Brooklyn. And so I was like, I was in the city, and I was like, hey, any chance you're in the city? And he was like, it was 10:30, and he was like, or maybe it was like 9:30, and he said, no, why? And I said, oh, well, I have a set at the Cellar tonight at like 11, and I'm headed there now, and I thought if you were in the city, it would be cool if you dropped by. And he was like, I'll be there. And I was like, oh my God, I remember running out of my room to Anya and being like, he's coming, oh my God, this is happening. And I was just like, oh, he's like, this guy is putting in effort. He's going to come to the city on a school night to like hang out with me late at night. I was just like so excited. Like suddenly this thing, I had a crush on him for like 2 months at that point. Every day seeing him at work, just like falling on the floor. Like, I love him. And I was so excited. And then he shows up, and we are just like at this table, like awkwardly, like just sipping seltzers. And I go down and do my set. And I'm like, please don't come down and watch me, because I knew that was just like not gonna give me, I was just too nervous. And then I came back upstairs, and he was like made best friends with the table next to us, of this like table of like fun ladies, like middle-aged ladies that were out, and they were just like, we love him. And I was just like, oh my God, like he's sitting with these ladies. And then he comes back to my table, Artie Lang comes in, and I had just done his like show, and he was like, hey Nikki, and like came up and gave me a hug. And Chris is a huge Dirty Work fan, huge, and so he was like, I cannot believe Artie Lang, you're friends with Artie Lang. So it was like kind of like a cool moment.
Yeah.
And then it was just so late. It was like 2 a.m. The place starts almost like closing, and I guess the point where we're just like, okay. And so we're walking out, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I know that I want to kiss this guy, and like he's hung out long enough. I know he likes me. He knows I like him.
Is there any hand touching it yet?
No, nothing.
Okay.
And I'm terrible at flirting, so I'm sure that I was giving him nothing. But then we walk down MacDougal. We take a left, whatever. It doesn't matter. We take a left on 4th Street, 3rd Street. And then we get to 6th Avenue. We get down to 6th Avenue, and 6th Avenue goes uptown, and I was going to grab a cab to go uptown, and it was also the train entrance for him.
Now Billy Joel, okay. Paul Simon next. Did you go on a bridge over troubled water or no?
And then so I'm just like waiting, and I'm like, Nikki, do not fucking say anything, because I wanted to break the tension so bad, because we're just kind of like on the corner, like, okay, well.
Oh, those are the
I just like kind of like I'm looking down, and I like look up at him, and he just goes, get over here. And he just like grabbed my wrist and just like pulled me over, and we just like made out, and it was amazing. It was the best. And I was just so glad, like, great, we kissed, it's over, like end of the night, like I could just go home, success. And he was like, do you want to come over? And I was like, no. What? Yeah, right. That's awesome.
I did that
I was like,
too.
I'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, taxi. He said he could not believe how fast it happened between like kissing, me going, no, yeah, right, see you tomorrow. Taxi pulls up, I get inside it, and I wave goodbye, and I'm like, yes, I got it, and that was it.
I like that you didn't let him go home.
No, I would never have done that. First of all, I was like, I'm such a prude.
Yeah.
I would have never done that initially. I was very like, I just wanted to kiss him. And I was so glad that I still liked him after we kissed.
Yeah.
Because that for me, as soon as I knew a guy liked me, I would always not like them anymore. But I was still very like, just like so into, I was so excited. And I was like scared of like, penis stuff. Like I still was like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
know what that's gonna be, and I don't know if I'm good at stuff, and all that fraught stuff. So let's get to final thought.
Do you think you meet? It's probably a good a good venue to meet someone at like the cellar. Like it gives you a sense of value, right? Because it's something you do. You're gonna look cooler at like the
That's
cellar.
good for a man. For me, I didn't do it as I just was like, this is a place it was just a place to go.
Yeah.
And it was a thing that I could make it seem like if he didn't like me, at least it's just I'm inviting a friend to come to this thing.
So it gives you an
But
out.
it wasn't me being like, look how cool I am at all. Because first of all, women don't do that. Men think that way. Women,
Yeah.
it doesn't work for us to be like, look how much value I have.
Yeah.
We don't. We just know. We may try that in the beginning because we see you do it and we know it works on us. So we go, maybe it'll work for me.
It
But
kind of
men-
worked though, in a way, with Artie being there. Like
It didn't. That didn't affect him liking me. It was a cool moment. I was like, oh, maybe I have some class. It didn't. He doesn't give a fuck. Like that. That was just where he was like, oh, that's cool. But it wasn't. Didn't make him want.
He's
to have
kind of
sex
in
with
that
me more.
world. Yeah, he's
Yeah, no.
kind of in that world anyway.
He was. Yes.
Agreed,
But he
agreed.
was not
I'm just
more
saying,
sexually
though,
attracted
yeah.
to me, whereas women definitely get more sexually attracted to someone who seems to have like famous friends and stuff.
What was it like though, being on stage and performing in front of him? Was that like the first time you did comedy in front of him?
well, he didn't go downstairs.
No, he didn't go
right?
downstairs to watch me. So I actually had him not watch me for like it was like 6 months. He never saw me do stand up. I forget the first time he saw me, but I was really nervous. And now it's my favorite thing to perform when he's watching because I just know like he's not. It's another thing again of like I don't think he's not more like horny for me afterwards. He's just like, I can't believe how good he's just like proud of me. Like almost the way like a family member or a friend would be of like, you're so good. Like he's just a fan in that way, but it's not like it doesn't contribute to our romantic relationship. How does it feel to perform in front of Brenna when the crowd is tired?
Before they really get in? Do they, when they're light laughers?
we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
we
a
did.
quiet crowd.
Yeah.
That's what she said to me. They're a quiet crowd.
Oh my God, Chris has seen me bomb so much.
But this is the thing, and I
it's
swear to
fine.
God, I would admit that I bombed.
You didn't bomb.
I didn't bomb, but it felt kind of like a bomb. Especially, I didn't feel like they were a quiet audience until I heard her say it.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I really
Yeah.
did enjoy it. But
It was circumstantial.
yeah. How does it feel performing it? I like it. Like it was funny on one of the jokes. It's like a delayed kind of laugh.
Oh, it's a thinker.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
thinker.
they got to do the math.
Where it's not.
Which one is your delayed laugh joke?
I knew you were gonna say that
I
right
just
when
want
I
to
said
know. I just want to know.
It's the end of the dog walker story.
How does tell me?
But I made more money. That joke.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
So it usually takes a second.
yeah.
It took this crowd. I'm
Oh
not
my
kidding.
God, it's so weird when they take.
And it's
too long.
not. I'm not saying I'm a
No,
thinker
I know.
comedian. I'm not Dimitri Martin up here.
No one ever would think that.
I mean, everyone probably
I'm
thinks
just kidding.
this.
No, I know what you're saying though.
It took. I'm not kidding. Long enough where I almost just. I almost started going. I almost
Into
said
the next
good night.
bit.
No, it was my closer.
Oh my God.
So I almost went. All right, and just ended on the. And I gave it, and I heard Brenna laughing in between the timing.
Well, because she knows.
She knows.
She would have probably been on the same. There was something you did that night that because St. Louis is not a dumb audience.
Yeah.
They tend to get stuff. Like I've performed with them enough, and I know where some audiences are a little bit slow to like. Just jokes that are a little bit more under the radar, and you kind of got to listen, like Kevin Nealon-ish stuff, where it's
Yes.
like you got to be listening to get it. St. Louis isn't like that. I'm thinking you must have done something that made it a little bit more. It needed more. They needed more time with it. But Brendan knows the joke.
So her laughing allowed me to pause just long enough
Oh, good.
for it to hit.
Yes.
And it hit hard, like
Yes,
really
of
hard.
course.
Like
because they're
surprise.
proud of themselves once they
Yeah,
get it. The
yeah.
more work they put into
Yeah,
it,
it's
it's
a-
like thing of like, oh wait, we can't say that. It's like the edge thing. You guys can't handle this. And then
Yeah.
when they work for it and go, no, we can. They've put in work, and so they're gonna like it all the more. And when an audience feels proud of themselves for getting something that's like they feel smart, they laugh so much harder. That's why you always, when you do a joke where it's very niche and only like 3 people will get the reference, those 3 people laugh super hard because they want you to know I got it. I'm smart. I do the same thing. I've done that to comedians where I'm like, I need them to know that I got that because I'm on the same wavelength and I'm smart, Mark Maron.
It's like, I know what word you chose, Gary Goldman.
Yes. Yes. But I know that Gary is not impressed by pseudo intellectuals.
Oh,
so
no,
I would never
of course not.
try to even. I know he's so smart that he knows I'm dumb. So I wouldn't even try to convince him that I get it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like your word choice, man. You could have went with a different word.
Oh my God.
I know, man.
Yeah, I know.
But anyhow, I saw Dimitri Martin perform at the West Palm Beach Improv 15 years
He's
ago.
one of my favorites of all time.
But I would say the crowd didn't seem like the smartest crowd. I would say 30% of the crowd would laugh just so no one knew they were dumb. I honestly could, I remember looking at tables going, you didn't really get that. You're just looking around and then laughing because
I'm trying to think of one of his jokes, and I can't recall any of them, but
you
they're
gotta draw
all
it.
so good. Okay, that's our show for today. We have another show tomorrow that we're about to record. I can't wait for it. We'll see you then. Don't be and
Jackie Gleason.